The President, a semi-satirical political thriller packaged as a story-driven management game from the aptly named SuperPAC. We're not beating around the George Bush today. Let's slap This Is the President under the make of the microscope and see if this game deserves your vote. The year is 2020, and you, like most presidents, are a motherfucking duffel bag of shit. That's right, your covert primary objective as the new leader of the free world is actually to free yourself from likely prosecution for past crimes that the public has yet to discover. Sound familiar? To do so, you plan to ratify a new amendment to the Constitution that would Ulysses S. grant you lifelong immunity. Along the way, you'll need to stack the Supreme Court and manipulate your way to a congressional supermajority, ratification by at least 38 states, and a 90% approval rating. Yeah, good luck with that. So it's a fun, scummy plot filled with blackmailing and backstabbing, and it left me impressed. Along the way, you'll equal parts enjoy and despise your hilariously incompetent and morally bankrupt cabinet. The characters here are by and large just thinly drawn caricatures of real-life idiots. Highlights including your insane First Lady Ellie, coked-out VP Tony, and Do-Faced, an on-the-nose pun for the prior president. Text-based dialogue is here in droves, and without voice acting, get ready to read. Luckily, the writing is easy on the eyes, simple, pulpy, soap opera kind of stuff that, despite the occasional typo, is relentlessly funny and occasionally shocking, but never deeply complex or enlightening. On to gameplay. No combat to report here, which isn't to say that there won't be blood on your hands by the time your term ends. No, instead, This Is the President is all about building and maintaining a well-balanced squad of lackeys so you can succeed in the game's variety of high and low stakes events, many of which are time sensitive. Each event requires a different approach. Conrad, a big-boned burglar for example, won't be much use to you in geopolitical negotiations, whereas Ollie, a skilled hacker, is just the guy for the digital subterfuge necessary to find out why all the cleaning ladies took maternity leave at the same time. Completing events nets you some combination of money, approval rating, and stress points. Too much of the latter and your team member will need to take some PTO at your secret beach bungalow lest they burn out and quit. At the end of each month, you'll settle up with your money-hungry squad, hire or fire, and get ready to do it all again. So it's an addictive gameplay loop, perhaps only bogged down by the endless slew of day-to-day choices you're prompted with, all of which produce pretty random outcomes. For example, there was no way to know that this deceased and diminutive police officer had an illegal counterfeiting operation in his basement before I honored him, so losing 1% or 2% of approval here feels unfair. Still, it's by and large great fun, assuming you like to read. Before we move on, a quick shout out to the UX and UI designers here, as navigating the beautiful interface is a breeze, my only gripe being that some fonts are still too small on the largest setting. As for playability, I was only forced to reload once during my 20-hour playthrough, and the load times are snappy. Seems like a pretty optimized experience that should run well on any machine. As for content, well, this game's world is the world. Yeah, nothing here that you wouldn't expect. I guess I already touched on the game's objectives, gaslighting in the nation and ramming a BS amendment through Congress. You might think it'd be hard to feel that compelled to succeed given how scummy those objectives are, but it only took an hour before my saint of a wife who played this game alongside me was ready to kill for them. As for value, This Is the President is launching at the cheapest free price of $15, and you're probably going to squeeze 20 to 30 hours of fun out of it. That's an impressed 4 if I've ever heard one. Finally, a few words on the game's style, which I break into art, music, and sound design. This Is the President has a lovely hand-painted aesthetic running through its main map and its hundreds of illustrations. I really couldn't get enough of either or the game's delightful score, which throws every genre under the sun at you, but most emphasizes big band and jazz. It all adds up to a very enjoyable experience. Speaking of adding, it's time to tally the votes. This Is the President earns the following metric scores and an excellent mega score of 3.83 out of 5. In short, it's an easy game to recommend. Until next time, this is Scope, and thanks for watching.